Welcome to this home learning pack for Key Stage 3. The home learning pack is all about space. The home learning pack covers the 9 subject areas of English, Maths, Personal Social Health Education, PSHE, Independence, Understanding the World, Science, Creative Arts, Technology and Physical Development. Each lesson has a very similar format. There will be a lesson number at the top. This is closely followed by the equipment. This includes the things that you will need to complete the lesson, such as worksheets, pens, pencils, scissors, glue, ruler. There'll be a set of instructions related to the lesson. This will give you the outcomes and what the lesson is about. There will also be, within each of the packs and each of the lessons, examples to support your child in terms of their learning. Then each lesson will be broken down into activities. Activity 1, 2 and Activity 3. Activity 1 often is the easiest activities and every child should be able to complete these. Activity 2 is about the application of skills and knowledge and your child may need some support with this. Activity 3 is more independent work where children are applying their knowledge and skills to different environments and contexts. In the 8 English lessons, we would like pupils to read about aspects related to space and space travel and then use this information to answer questions. Work on writing with a focus on capital letters, full stops and conjunctives, and then also develop your understanding around fact and opinion. Let's have a look at the English lessons in more detail. In the first lesson, we would like you to read a short story related to the character above called The Cold Planet. You will then need to answer some questions related to the cold planet and what you have read. In the second lesson, we would like you to read about information related to each of the planets. In this example here, we have information related to Mercury and Mars. You can then use that information in a number of ways, including playing top trumps, or in this case, perhaps looking at the distance from the Sun, where we can see that Mercury is a lot closer to the Sun than Mars. So we can then order the planets in that order, or we can consider other aspects such as their size. In the third lesson, we will consider capital letters and full stops. Your child will initially start by looking at capital letters and full stops related to sentences that are already completed for them, and then progress onto aspects such as paragraphs. In the example above, your child would need to put a capital M in the place of the start of the sentence, and then complete the sentence with a full stop. There's many more examples in the pack for your child to try. In the next lesson, we're going to consider the difference between facts and opinion. A fact is something you can prove to be either true or false. You cannot change a fact. An opinion is how a person or thing feels about something. You can change an opinion. So, for example, Mark is a boy is a fact, whilst girls are better than boys is an opinion. You'll initially start with these and then develop your own ideas from there. In the next lesson, we're going to return to a comprehension activity. We would like you to read some information entitled Blast Off and then complete the questions related to the information that you have read. Don't forget, if you're struggling with your reading, to ask an adult or another family member for help. In the next lesson after this, we're going to give you an opportunity to do some free writing. The content of the free writing and the style of the free writing is up to yourselves. However, we would like you to try to do an acrostic poem. This is where a poem has the initial letters of a word at each start. In this case, the letters spell out space. If you don't want to do space, that's fine. You can choose your own. Perhaps you can choose rocket or star or sun. The starting letters are up to you. In lesson 7, we would like you to work on conjunctions. Conjunctions are words that join sentences together. In the 2 examples above, the boy went to a shop and bought some sweets. So the word and is a conjunctive. The girl wanted to play outside, but it was raining. But being the conjunctive. Lesson 7 will continue to develop your use of conjunctives in your writing. In the final lesson, we will ask you to do some work in relation to putting words within an alphabetical system. So in this example, we would have the first word that we would use would be galaxy, followed by moon, and then as the next two words have the same starting letter, which is an S, we would need to look at the second letter. So the next word after that would be solar because it has an O, and then it would be space. There's other examples for you to try within the pack. Good luck. Welcome to the Maths Pack. Within the Maths Pack, we would like you to continue to work on your data handling skills, work on measuring ordinal numbers and place value, work on your subtraction, multiplication and halving and division, and develop your understanding of angles and shape properties. In the first lesson, we would like you to do some measuring. Please don't forget to measure from the 0 of the ruler rather than the end. In the second lesson, we would like you to continue to do work around data handling and tally charts. In lesson 3, we would like you to work on coordinates. Please don't forget that the horizontal axis is the x-axis and the vertical is the y-axis. So to work on the coordinates, the star in this example here is at coordinate 2 and 1. The example below, with regards to the objects here, if we consider where the rocket is, the rocket coordinates start with A and then 5. So that we know that they're together, we often put them in brackets. In the next lesson, we are going to consider shapes and angles. In the first example, we would just like you to use some shapes to create your own picture. In this case, we've created a rocket. In the second part of the lesson, we'll be considering angles. Please do not forget that a right angle is at 90 degrees. Therefore, an acute angle is anything that is less than 90 degrees, and an obtuse angle is anything that is beyond and above 90 degrees. In lesson 5, we're going to be looking at ordering numbers. In the first example here, which is in activity 1, we're looking at ordering 3 and then number 4 and 5 and then 1, 2 and the number 3. In activity 3, we'll be looking at decimals and using slightly different scales, in this case 0.1 increments. In the final 3 lessons, we're going to be looking at addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Just some helpful tips to support yourself when you're working through these worksheets. So how to use a multiplication square. If in this first example we have 3 times 4, we will look at 3 and 4 and follow to where they meet. In this case, the answer is 12. In the second example, 2 times 3, we take 2 times 3 and where they meet gives us the answer of 6. In terms of division, if it's a very straightforward and simple number, we can simply do a sharing method where we take our counters and we can add our counters equally into the number that we are wanting to divide by. In which case, in this example, 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. In the final example here, this is the bus stop method which we would use for more longer complication. So we start from left to right. So from here we have 3 divided by 3 which equals 1, 9 divided by 3 which equals 3, and 6 divided by 3 which equals 2. And this now gives us our answer of 132. And this is how we use the bus stop method to develop and calculate more longer divisions. Welcome to the wider learning pack. Let's make a start with creative arts. In these 2 lessons, we would first of all like you to cut out and colour in each of the planets. Think carefully about the colours that you are using for the planets and see if you can get them as accurate as possible. In the second lesson, we would like you to make some Play-Doh, and by using the Play-Doh, create either individual planets, or alternatively, why not create your own universe. In the first of the PSHE lessons, we would like you to read about an astronaut, in this case Tim Peake. and what events he did within each of his days. And then can you create your very own sequence of events for your day? In the second of the lessons, we will be considering about the jobs that you might do within that sequence of events, be that at home or at school. In the third lesson, we'd like to see how well you do in following instructions. In this case, to make your own star biscuits. And in the final lesson, we will be considering about what you want and what you need, and what the difference between those two aspects are. And finally, what you might need to take into space if you actually went on a trip of your own. We hope you enjoy these lessons. In the Understanding the World lessons, we would first of all like to consider the history of space travel. And secondly, we would like you to read about an astronaut, Neil Armstrong, who was the first man to land and set foot on the moon. In the second lesson, we'll consider what are commonly known as shooting stars or meteors, and learn a little bit more about what they are, the colours, and also which ones have fallen to Earth. In Independence, we'll be considering the following 4 things. First of all is around changes and how that may make us feel, and how we might move from between being happy, sad, angry and excited, and what those feelings and emotions may look like if we're seeing them on other people. Lesson 2 will consider about bacteria and viruses and develop a better understanding about what those are, what the impact is on the body, and how we can support ourselves to ensure that we reduce the chances of getting a bacteria or virus infection, including coronavirus. In the third lesson, we'll be considering about whether it is an emergency or not, and consider how we treat and support ourselves with things like minor cuts and scrapes or burns and skulls, and how we can take care and support ourselves, and if we do need to make an emergency call, what we have to do. And in the final lesson of the Independence Pack will be around lessons connected to stopping bullying and anti-bullying, both in person and also online. In the physical development lessons, we'll first of all think about how we move in space. This could be about bounding on the moon, or it could be around floating in a space station, and how we might be able to replicate some of those movements here on Earth. Secondly, we'll be thinking about how we propel an object through space. This could be overarm or underarm, and it could also include hitting targets. And finally, how we may also keep up objects in the air by using a bat and a ball. In science, we're first of all going to investigate the 2 opposite forces of push and pull. And secondly, we're going to investigate the effects of gravity, and in this instance create our own marble run so our marble can defy gravity as it progresses down a particular course. The course that you want to design is up to you. In technology, we would first of all like you to start by creating your own spaceship. This can be on an art package, on Word, or you can just simply draw your own spaceship travelling through space. In the final lesson, we will be looking at a 3D solar system project, in this case using Play-Doh to create the planets and painting them in 3D, and then creating your own solar system and putting the planets in the right order. Thank you for listening today. Please don't forget to take pictures of your work and to send them into school. Just a reminder, each of the lessons have 3 activities within them. Those activities do get harder. If you do get stuck, please don't just give up, keep trying. And if you need some more support, remember to ask an adult or another member of your family to help. Thank you.